Well, I had tithe before John and I got married. I was consistent, but then when we changed churches, and then we were kind of still in limbo with finding a church. That habit just kind of fell off. Like I believed in tithing, but I just had, if you don't exercise something, it just like a muscle, it will deteriorate. So that habit kind of just was over there. I think for me, I really wanted to find a church home that I felt it was mine and not just like, oh, I go a few Sundays. I'm like, if I'm gonna give my tithe, I want to give it to somewhere that I feel at home. And that was the thing for me. Our first Sunday, I was like, oh, I want to go back.
This is it.
And so because I felt at home, then I felt I trusted to give my tithe and not like, oh, let me find a charity to give money to. So that way I'm still giving, in some way to others.
I wasn't there yet where Melissa was as far as tithing, initially. Still had some work to do there, but I think, really going through deliverance last year brought me closer to God. And, it's really blessed us. I'll start with, in March, the Holy Spirit revealed to me, hey, John, your bonus, I want you to put half of that towards, the Legacy of Freedom. And I, without a doubt, said, all right, here you go. Like knowing that, hey, there's bills and things that I could use with that money, but I wanted to be obedient and to listen to, what God told me to do. So shortly after that, I did get the promotion in my job, and I'll kind of defer to Melissa on what else happened.
I had filed our taxes, but it was also the deadline to apply for a scholarship for Amelia. And I had kept dragging my feet, and I was like, I don't think we're going to be eligible for this. And the Lord just brought it back to me. And I was like, all right, it's like 10 o'clock at night. I had no idea that basically Amelia's school was fully paid for by that scholarship. So it's, there was a waiting period, but the Lord blessed us to cover her tuition. And I was like, that totally unexpected blessing.
And this is just to put it in perspective, 3 times the amount that I put towards my bonus. Just by saying, yes, Lord, this is what I'm going to do. And then the last kind of, and I'm sure he's going to continue to bless us, but this one was really huge and near and dear to my heart. Last year, we unfortunately had some work done to the house, and we ran into a contractor that unfortunately took advantage of us. And we tried about over a year to try to get our money back or him to come, fix them. And, through going through the legal process of going to, mediation, we finally were able to get an agreement where the contractor has agreed to pay us much more than what we originally thought we would get. And that's all God. That's all him just blessing us because we're faithful with giving him the top every time. So I will say one more thing.
What?
The diagnosis.
So in June, I went for an annual checkup, and my doctor thought she felt a lump in my breast. And so I was on edge, do I have something? And so she sent me for a mammogram to have, not your typical mammogram. It was we need a diagnostic so we can look, deeper. And I remember getting in the car and kind of basically crying because I'm like, I know I should, be walking in faith, but just the thought of having cancer just frightened me. And so I remember telling John when I got home, still just I don't know, just a mix of emotions.
Once she got home and told me everything, I literally, first thing I did, grabbed her, hugged her, and prayed and rebuked that spirit, whatever it was that they may have saw. And I believe really drove it out of her.
After the diagnostic mammogram, they couldn't find anything. He was like, I don't know what she saw. Can you find it? And I'm like, no, I can't find this lump that she felt. So then I still had to go to a breast specialist. She couldn't find it. Did an ultrasound, nothing. So I was like, okay, I'm good.
Healed. It all starts with the deliverance. You have to get to a point where the Lord, delivers you from all the past, all the hurts, all the pains, all the sickness, and that has changed my life forever. And I'll never be the same. And now through deliverance, that prompted me to really be on the same page with Melissa to tithe, consistently like she was doing. And that allowed us to really drive out demons and to just trust them completely. So I don't think we'll ever stop tithing, because it's just been, if I can do that for God, like He's done so much for me and it helps so many.